Bowfinger International Pictures. It's an okay name, I suppose, but they have two problems. The first problem, they have never made a picture. The second problem, they're not international, if you don't count hiring illegal immigrants fresh over the Rio Grande as their cameraman, best boy grips and other stuff as well as international. But their luck is about to turn. For the better or for the worse, we'll see, because they are about to embark on their biggest quest ever. The movie Chubby Rain. And we're about to see what happens when Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin in the same picture together. Will they create magic? This is Bowfinger. As I said, Bowfinger International Picture is not a runaway success, and he's on his last straw, basically. Bowfinger, played by Steve Martin. Now granted, he has an army of very loyal enthusiasts who he probably doesn't pay that much money, if any, to. But one of them has a script called Chubby Rain. It's some kind of an alien invasion movie with some, you know, in the rain or some shit like that. It sounds bad. But Bowfinger bumps into a couple of slightly tipsy Hollywood producers. One of them played by Robert Downey Jr. or whatever happened to him. And they just goes like, yeah, whatever. If you can get Kit Ramsey into this movie, you have a go picture deal. Kit Ramsey is a slightly megalomaniac version of Eddie Murphy, played by Eddie Murphy, who is also under the control of Mindhead. Welcome to Mindhead. Welcome to Mindhead. A slight jab at the Scientology that controls a lot of the Hollywood stars, apparently. Now Bowfinger tries to get Kit Ramsey on the project, but he says no. And when he comes back and he sees his enthusiastic, you know, co-workers and they're being, yay, we're gonna work on the movie finally, and yay, we're gonna work with Kit Ramsey, he can't bear himself to tell them that he told them no. He can't say that. He simply says that, yeah, we'll do it. How are they going to make a movie with Kit Ramsey without him knowing? Simple. Arrange situations like it was in the movie. The characters go to Kit Ramsey, they say their lines, he reacts, and they say, well, that's a cut, and they shoot him with hidden cameras and stuff like that. It becomes very fast, incredibly silly, and Kit Ramsey's very controlled world is turned upside down, and new to the fold of Bowfinger's growing assets of slightly incompetent buffoons is Heather Graham, you know, who has come to Hollywood to find success, finds it, and then, you know, just runs over everybody. It's not so slight jab at Anne Heche. If you want to know more about that, Google it. I'm going to have to play the blame game for one thing in this movie, which is called The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, which made Steve Martin only be able to have Eddie Murphy for a very short amount of time. They couldn't use him as much as they wanted to because he was, you know, scheduling was clashing between those two movies. Why they decided they needed to split him up into two characters in this movie, I don't know. It hampered this movie a little bit. And why is this movie that I hate so much having to muddle this movie, which I very much like? Life is unfair in Hollywood. They need a stand-in for Kit Ramsey, and they bring back a dorky, kind of obnoxious guy that they find, which also is played by Eddie Murphy, and I don't like him. I really like Kit Ramsey. It is the best character Eddie Murphy has played for 12 years, I think. He's great, he's fantastic. And the sequences with him, especially the one in the parking garage, is gold. His fear looks so real. Alright, Kincaid, where's the plutonium? All of these things are great, and I love movies about the art of movie making, especially this very low asylum level of awfulness that they're doing. And The whole con is brilliant, but in some case it plays second fiddle to the rest of the movie. The interactions between, you know, the characters in that is employed by Bowfinger, and that's also kind of fun, but it isn't as funny as an increasingly paranoid Kit Ramsey believing to be, you know, surrounded by aliens and stuff like that. It is hilarious, actually. There is some very fun jabs at Hollywood, and this could have been an excellent satire. It is a really good movie, and I really, really like it. But it could have been even better. With more Eddie Murphy, more Kit Ramsey, none of the, you know, stand-in kind of a thing. They could have had, you know, why do you need to have him with braces and being a dork and something like that? Couldn't you have made him a complete, you know, stiff who didn't understand a thing about movies and was completely, you know, untalented or something like that? It could have been, that could have been even funnier. This is just, it just feels like, you know, some guy has run away from the clumps. Oh, the clumps! Ooh. Anyway, the movie is very entertaining. It has lots of very funny jokes. It has some great satire too to it, especially, you know, to the Hollywood and to Scientology and stuff like that. That is very funny, and I must say that the last 2 or 3 minutes of this movie is absolute gold. It is so hysterically funny. It's absolutely great, and I love every second of it. If you like Steve Martin, if you like Eddie Murphy, if you haven't seen this movie, what are you waiting for? It's great! This movie also represents the end of something. This was the funniest movie and the funniest character that Eddie Murphy had played for 12 years. And he hasn't made a better movie than this that is live action since then. I'm not counting the Shrek movies because they are actually very good also. And it is also the last truly great movie that I've seen Steve Martin in. I think at least that. I can't think of a single movie he has done the last 20 years which has been better than this one, or has even been, you know, remotely great or even good. Oh God, that's sad. This is a very funny, very smart, very entertaining movie. 66 points for the brilliance of Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin, Frank Oz, the director. Those three really bring this movie together and make it into an unforgettable and slightly underrated movie who has somehow been flying under the radar. And it is a great movie. It could have been even better, but we have to work with what we got, I suppose. Today they could probably make a very interesting movie about that, you know, with the phone cameras and stuff like that, and that could have been, you know, a great movie, you know, with Jesse Eisenberg and Kevin Hart or something like that. It could have been excellent. Well, I'll see you next time from, well, so and so, where I will be reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.